Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Good Intentions, Bad Decisions. My name is Maria and today I will be doing a little update on my finances. As you guys can tell, it's the second week of the year. We are currently in January 5th of 2026. Today I'm going to be going over some of the questions that I'm going to be answering as I show you guys my budget. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with those questions. The first one being, what has changed in my budget? So I'm just gonna go over a couple of things that I have already paid for and some of the things that are still pending to be paid for the month. Then we're gonna go over my total debt. Has any of that changed within the last week? Next, we're gonna go over any unexpected expenses, if case there are any. The following will be, is there anything in my budget that I want to update, add, or remove? And lastly, I'm just gonna go over how I feel about my finances and my progress so far. So moving on to the budget, let's go ahead and do that. Okay guys, here's the budget. I went ahead and made the screen a little bit bigger for you guys to see. I noticed that in my last video the numbers were too small. So let's go ahead and get started with some of the things that changed with the budget so far. So some of the coloring changed. If you guys haven't seen my last video, I'm just gonna go over the coloring a little bit. So if any of the sections right here are highlighted in purple, which none of them are, it means that I have money set aside, like partially I have set money aside for this amount or this payment. If it's in this light green, it means that that amount has been paid. Like I have set money aside for that payment and it's already been grabbed from my account. And then lastly, we have this yellow color, which represents that I have money set aside for this payment and I have enough money to cover the full amount. So that's just a little breakdown of my coloring. I do like to do coloring based on categories to just kind of help me. I'm a visual learner, so this is just kind of the way that I do it. So if you guys find this helpful, feel free to use some of the same coloring or use a similar system. So some of the things that I have paid so far, I believe in my last video, my mortgage payment was one of the things highlighted in green. But just to kind of recap on that, yeah, it's taken on the first of every month. So that's been paid. I also went ahead and paid for an apartment. So that apartment is for my parents, and I do get help from my siblings. So it's not like I pay the full amount. So that's been paid. Next, we move on to my car insurance, which I also mentioned in the last video. This is something that I cannot pay in the month of December because I'm starting a new policy, and part of the paperwork process was to go ahead and get that paid for. And then my Adobe membership was paid earlier this week, $39. And then today I pay my gas and water $125. That is a set amount that I have with the utility company. As far as the next three amounts for my credit cards, I usually pay my credit cards as soon as I get the notification that the minimum payment is available for payment. So I paid those back in December. So I probably will end up paying the ones for February in January, so by the end of January. And then as far as the Northwestern Mutual fee, the phone and Wi-Fi fee, and the electricity fee, those are highlighted in yellow, and those I have money to cover those payments. And then just kind of moving on to my variable expenses. So I will go more in detail on another update video with just kind of talking about my cash envelope system If you guys haven't had a chance to see that video, go ahead and check it out. It's just a video that breaks down what type of cash envelope system I'm following. As far as my income goes, I am still estimating to make about $3,800. I got paid today from my part-time job, and that's going to be $148.25, which is something that I kind of talked about in my last video too. My part-time income, all of that is going to be going towards my credit card, and that's usually just extra money that's going to go there to kind of help me with that. As far as those $1,000, those are the $1,000 that come from my siblings, and those are the $1,000 that help me pay for that apartment. So technically, I'm only covering $130 from that. And then as far as my total so far, then I will be making $4,948.25 so far. My expenses, I am estimating to make about $4,800, and then that should leave me with $140.25, which is the same amount as my part-time job. And then as far as my debt, I haven't really applied the $148.25 to my credit cards, and even if I do, it's going to take a couple of days for those amounts to reflect the true amount of my debt. So with that being said, my Southwest amount has not changed at all. It's still the same, but my Amazon amount changed slightly a little bit. And it's mostly because I had some returns late last week, and I feel like those amounts just hit my account. That's why it's showing a less amount that's a little bit less. So without taking all of that into consideration, my total debt decreased to $18,178.04. So there you guys can see a few changes, but I didn't expect to have a lot going on since it's been only a few days since my last video on my budgeting sheet, and also it's been a slow week for me, so not a lot of change there. One of the questions I do want to answer is, do I plan to update the sheet or make any changes or remove anything? Not really, but I went ahead and added the months of February and March. I don't get paid this week for my full-time job. I do get paid until next week. So when that hits, I just want to make sure I have the month of February open and kind of ready to go. Other than that, I don't think I have made any changes to the sheet. And then lastly, how I feel about everything. I feel like I'm doing good so far. I had some moments of temptations when it comes to like scrolling on Amazon, because I do use Amazon quite a lot. But yeah, some temptation has been going through my mind this last few days. And other than that, I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited about this journey. I'm excited to finally kind of take control of my finances and just see a better picture, a more clear picture of how my money is moving, and being able to maybe catch those little moments where I'm able to make a better decision. So yes, I hope you guys are having a good time, just kind of getting to know my finances, getting to know where I'm going and where I plan to go. I am open to feedback. Anything will be greatly appreciated. And other than that, I am happy that you guys are sticking until the end. But without anything else being said, I'll go ahead and let you guys go. I hope you guys have a lovely second week of the year, full of energy and excitement. And I hope to see you guys in my next video.